Hey, it's me. Hopefully, our talks in the last few months have given you new insights into yourself. You can see more clearly how your unconscious ideas can be different from what you say or believe on the surface. If you look carefully, you'll find that at the heart of many of these inner conflicts lies your need for love. Either a hunger for it or the fact that you're not getting it in the way you once needed as a child. When you understand this truth, you start to see that any place where you feel stuck, confused, usually traces back to a fear or block around giving and receiving love. As you've probably heard more than once, love is the greatest power in the universe. Love is the greatest power in the universe. Every spiritual teaching, religion, and even modern psychology says the same thing. With love, you feel strong and safe. Without it, you feel lonely and afraid. This big truth stays only a lofty idea until you notice where deep inside you stop yourself from loving. You also need to see why you're doing it. That awareness connects this grand concept of love to your actual daily life, to you personally. If you work seriously on this path, you've likely come across a fear of love. This is real progress because if you don't sense that fear, you can't do what's necessary to push through it. Still, you may not fully get why you're afraid. You may have some answers, but often they're either logical ideas in your head or hints of emotional feelings you can't quite pin down. So let's talk about some parts of this problem. When you can't love easily, it's a sign of immaturity. Being immature leads to living in a sort of unreality, and that makes you feel off balance. Think of a child. Children want an endless amount of love right away. They're not open to waiting or giving back. That's how the immature part in you can act too. It demands total love without giving, which sets up a big inner conflict. It also sets up fear about loving. So why do we resist love? Well, there's three main reasons. The first reason is this childish demand. The child in you wants total control over anyone who loves you, like having them be a personal servant to your every wish. If that's your hidden idea of love, how can you help but fear being the one to love? Because that can mean you'd be someone else's servant. Another possible reason why we resist love is submissiveness is confused with love. Sometimes you may see yourself or others being almost obedient to win someone's love. It can look like being selfless, but it's really about giving up your own will to be accepted. That's not real love. Real love doesn't mean losing your dignity or sense of self. And a third possible reason why we resist love is fear of rejection. Because you don't trust your own motives, they're still childish, even if you also don't trust the other person to love you in a healthy way. And this keeps you from truly opening your heart. So how can we step towards real love? It's not realistic to jump straight to the highest form of love where there's no selfishness at all. We want to start with smaller steps. So consider allowing others to feel how they feel. Allow others to feel how they feel. You learn to stop demanding that they love you in a certain way. Reduce your anger when you don't get your way. You find you can like and respect people even if they don't do what you want. And give up forcing things. Give up forcing things. If you let go of trying to make people behave exactly how you wish, You free yourself from the inner tension that's draining you. These changes might sound minor, but they're huge inside. They pave the path to a healthier, more mature love. Otherwise, you might be stuck wanting an all or nothing kind of love. If you don't get the perfect thing, you withdraw completely and lose out on any real connection. Now, intuition plays a role in this. When you let go of forcing people to love or agree with you, you can see situations more clearly. You'll then trust your intuition more because your inner voice isn't tangled up in daydreams or unrealistic hopes. You'll notice the actual qualities in a person or a situation, not just your idealized version of them. That's how genuine intuition grows. All right, so I want to review a couple of things that we've talked about recently because I feel they apply to this topic of fearing love as well. And the first is living in the now. We talked about being in the moment, and that's key to being able to love maturely. Now, being in the moment, there's two ways to do this. There's the immature way, where only the present matters, so any small disappointment or success feels like life and death. There's no sense of past or future, so every bump seems huge. And then there's the mature way, where you notice what's happening now inside you and around you without running away into daydreams. You still feel sadness when something hurts or joy when something good happens, but you also see it in context. You don't blow it out of proportion, nor do you brush it aside. Okay, so keep that in mind when it comes to loving maturely. And then the daily practice that we talked about will be helpful here too. So we talked about this simple daily practice where you want to pick a quiet time each day, just a few minutes is necessary. You sit down, you relax your body and mind. Notice if you feel hurried, ask yourself why, and then begin to observe yourself. Imagine looking at yourself from the outside. Take on that role, embody that role of the observer. What's your posture like, your expression, your mood? And then put your focus on a single point, likely your gentle breathing or maybe your third eye, the spot between your eyebrows. Expect random thoughts to appear while you're doing this, but each time they do, gently return your focus back to your breathing or to your third eye without any need to get upset if your mind drifts. After doing this, you'll likely feel calmer, and that provides an opportune time to pray or reflect on something that's confusing you. So this is a good time to set your intention to face things bravely and see them truthfully. As you drop your demand for perfect love from others, as you let go of anger when things aren't your way, and as you learn to see people for who they truly are, you'll fear love less and won't feel dangerous or enslaving. You'll gain self-respect and trust. You won't be trying to hide your own childishness from yourself anymore. You'll unlock your intuition so you can accurately sense people and situations. And you'll live each moment more fully. It'll be grounded in reality, not lost in wishful thinking or overblown emotions. Little by little, this path helps you see that you can love without having to lose yourself, and that this love can make your life more vivid, more calm and honest than you ever imagined. Let me know what you think. Let me know how things go for you. Love you. Connect soon.